Well, good morning, my young grasshoppers. We're going to be continuing the quadratic formula, so a little bit of review again. Excuse me. And we're going to be reviewing how we do our quadratic formula. Be hopefully a little bit quicker lesson than yesterday's. But without further ado, uh, let me get rid of my ugly mug. Okay, adios. All right, let's go ahead and do these two problems here. So go ahead and pause the video and complete these two. All righty. Number one and number two, again, just like yesterday, you do have to pay attention. These both mention factoring. Okay. This first one does not have an equal sign. Second one does have an equal sign. So they are done differently. Okay. So start off. What can I divide out? One, it's done. Okay. Magic numbers. Multiplies to be 54. Clean that up. Multiplies to be 54. Adds up to be 29. Oh my goodness. 54. There we go. So we got 1 times 54 is 54. 1 plus 54 is 55. Not it. 2. 54 divided by 2 is 27. Aha, 2 tries. Found it. Okay, so we got our magic numbers, 2 and 27. And now we're going to build the plane. Okay, put your wings out. Okay, remember, there's no shortcut for this one because we are not solving. So we start both of them with 9x. So 9x, 9x, and then we put our magic number. So plus 2 and plus 27. Okay, put our wheels down so we can land the plane. Divide by 1. This one I can divide them both by 9. My wheels work out. 1 times 9 is 9. Okay, and I write my two factors. 9x plus 2 and x plus 3. For the second one, it has an equal sign. So we are actually going to get the solutions, not just the factors. Okay, now it does start off very similarly. Just make sure it is equal to 0, which this is. So what can I divide out? 1, it's done. Magic numbers. So it multiplies to be negative 24. Adds up to be negative 5. Okay, my magic numbers here are 3 and negative 8. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. 3 plus negative 8 is negative 5. Well, this has the shortcut that we're allowed to use. So opposite of the magic number divided by my a value. The a value is 6. And I can simplify that to be negative 1/2. Opposite, positive 8 divided by the a value. And I can simplify this to be 4/3. So my answer for number 2 is negative 1/2 and 4/3. Okay. Now, we're going to practice some more with the quadratic formula. Okay. This is going to be essentially on the video. If you're doing the video, it's going to be pause and do and then check. Okay. So obviously, if you're still having problems with this, then you're going to end up doing some of these along with me. Okay. Reminder of what the quadratic formula is. Okay. From our form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay. Our answer for x is going to be negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and that whole thing is divided by 2a. All right. So let's go ahead and look at this first problem. Okay. I'll put the formula up here. Go ahead and pause the video and complete this problem. Now, the first thing we want to make sure we do, it's got to say equal 0. So I have some work to do here because this does not say equal 0. So I'm moving everything to the left. I'm going to add 4x to both sides. I'm going to minus 9 on both sides. So that's going to be canceled out on the right, and I'm going to get an equal 0. Just make sure you put this in order. Okay, it goes x squared, then my x, then my constant equals 0. Okay, so I have my A is 4, my B is also 4, and my C is -9. And the next thing I need to do is I need to plug all those numbers, these three numbers, 4, 4, and -9, in the appropriate spots. So we start off negative B. So negative of 4 plus or minus square root of B, which is 4 squared, minus 4. That's always there. Remember, minus 4 times A, which is 4, times C, which is -9. And that's all over 2A. Oops, I almost wrote 2A. A is 4, so over 2 times 4. And I'm going to focus on the discriminant, okay, or the part with the square root first. So 4 squared is 16. -4 times 4 times -9 is positive 144. I add these together and I get 160. Okay, so since that's a positive number, I know I'm going to get two solutions. Okay, well, I need to go ahead and figure out what this is, and I'm going to approximate that number. So square root of 160 rounded to the 100th is 12.65. Okay, when I round that. Well, I have that part. Now let's go ahead and break this up. So I have -4 plus something, and on the bottom, 2 times 4 is 8. I also have -4 minus something over 8. Now, what is that something that goes right here? Well, that's my answer for the square root. So that's where I put the 12.65. Okay. And make sure we add. So -4 plus 12.65 is 8.65. 8.65 divided by 8. So again, I'm going to have to do some rounding. It's going to be about 1.08. And the next one, -4 minus 12.65 is -16.65 divided by 8. And I'm getting -2.08. So my two answers, 1.08 and -2.08. Okay, let's go ahead and pause the video and complete number 2. Well, what's nice about this one is it is already equal to 0. So my A is 2. Now here's a unique thing. Remember, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. It's missing this part, the bx, okay? Because I see a k squared, I don't see a k. So when that happens, that means that letter, the b, has to be a 0. That's why it's missing. And c is -32. Well, plug it into your quadratic formula. So we have negative of 0 plus or minus the square root of 0 squared minus 4 times a times c. And I'm just plugging in the numbers that go with those. And it's all divided by 2a. It's all divided by 2 times 2. Well, let's make sure our square root part is done. Okay, 0 squared is 0. -4 times 2 times -32 is positive 256. I add those together and I still get positive 256. So I'm going to get an answer. Let's square root that. Square root of 256 is 16. Okay. So I need to break this up. No, there's no such thing as negative 0. So it's just 0 plus something. And 2 times 2 is 4. And 0 minus something divided by 4. Okay. Again, what is this something that comes after that? Well, the answer for my square root. So that's where the 16 goes. In this problem, 0 plus 16 is 16. Okay. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 0 minus 16 is negative 16. Negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. So what are my answers? 4 and negative 4. Now you will sometimes see computer programs write this answer as using that plus or minus sign. They'll say plus or minus 4. That's what it means. I have a positive 4 and a negative 4 as an answer. Okay. All right, number 3, let's go ahead and pause the video and complete this problem. Oh. All right, got to make this equal to 0 to start. So, for a second there, I was like, that looks eerily similar to the first one, but it's not quite the same. Okay, so we got minus 4x on both sides, minus 23 on both sides. I get 4x squared minus 4x minus 23 equals 0. So my a is 4, my b is negative 4, and my c is negative 23. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug them in. So negative b, so negative of negative 4 plus or minus square root b squared, so negative 4 squared minus 4 times a, which is 4, times c, which is negative 23. And this is all over 2a, so all over 2 times 4. So square root part, negative 4 squared is positive 16. Okay, negative 4 times negative 4 times 4 times negative 23. That's positive 368. We'll add those together. 16 plus 368 is 384. It's a positive number, so I know I'm going to get an answer. And let's go ahead and square root that. And the square root of 384 rounded is going to be 19 point. Now I'm going to do this. I didn't do this on the other one. I rounded. I get 19.595. So 5 or more raise the score. It goes from 0.59 to 0.60. Okay. And let's break this up. Negative of negative 4. Negative times a negative, that would be positive 4. Plus something. And then 2 times 4 is 8. You also have 4 minus something divided by 8. Again, what is that something that goes in this spot? Well, that's the answer for my square root. So 19.60 goes right here. Add those up. 4 plus 19.60 is 23.60 divided by 8. And I get 2.95. Now, that is a rounded answer. And that's what I'm getting, 2.95. The other one, 4 minus 19.60 is negative 15.60 divided by 8. And I get negative 1.95. So my two answers here are 2.95 and negative 1.95.